This is my Christmas episode, so why don't you come over here and sit on Santa's other chair that's next to me and tell me what you want for Christmas. Except for you! You've been bad. You're on the naughty list. Someone call Rudolph, because even when it's turned on, this sleigh is going nowhere. Now, generally speaking, when you can hear the machine running, but the agitator shaft right here is not spinning, that means that you have a stripped gear. So let's open this baby up and find out. We'll start by removing this back cap screw. Merry Christmas, DeWalt. You get free advertising this year. Take a look at that. I opened up this back cap and you can see we got oil leaking all over, even on the rear. I noticed it on the side here too. I bet if we put pressure here, we can get it to seep out. Yum. Now for the beauty band, there's one screw here and one right there. All right, moment of truth. Oh my gosh. Look how much oil was hiding behind that thing. So this is fairly normal for these machines. After a few years, the grease starts to break down and oil separates and leaks out. I love how the vibration makes it look like almost like veins or like a riverbed. Next, we need a rubber mallet and a flathead screwdriver. We're going to put it right on the edge of that drip ring. We're going to lightly beat it off. Went ahead and gave it a few taps. This thing is now ready to come off. Take a look at that. A little bit of oil. You can see some on here as well. Fun fact, this piece right here is actually called the drip ring, and it sits just like that, and it is designed to catch oil that drips out of the machine. Next, we got to take a punch and we got to pound out this pin right here. After the pin is removed, that planetary can just be pulled down out of place like so. Now with that planetary removed, that's going to reveal 5 screws around the head here. Then there's 2 on the body and 2 in the back here as well. We're going to have to remove all of those. Now with all the screws out, this machine is now ready to be split in half. Take a look at that. So as we can see in here, the grease has separated. There's some oil right there. That's where all that leaked oil was coming from. And we were right about a gear being broken. Here's one of the teeth right here. Let's spin this baby. Oh yeah, take a look at that. That entire gear section just ripped off that gear. I mean, take a look at it. This is what that gear is supposed to look like. You can tell it's just missing a huge section. Now this is the perfect ode to why you should change your grease anytime you have damaged gears. Because as you can see, there's that whole section missing, and all you can see is this little tiny piece right there. Which means the rest of that gear is hidden in that big pile of grease, so if you just try to redistribute it and use it again, it's gonna get jammed up again. Just buy the grease and do it right the first time. Now for the fun part, let's clean out all of this grease. This part of the job is always the most satisfying. We just get in here with our little grease picks into all these crevices and just get all of this old grease out of here. So after removing some grease, I found some giant pools of oil. Take a look at that. That is all oil right there. Yuck. That's okay though, we got it all out, but there was a lot. Look how deep that pocket actually is. So I'm gonna put on my thinking cap real quick and show you something here. So the way that this gear is broken, just fractured like that, which leads me to believe that this machine went through a boom, extreme stopping force while it was running. The fact that this pin right here is bent and won't come out also proves that theory. And generally this happens when people are making icing and it's getting stuck on the side of the bowl and they're trying to scrape it off while the machine is running, and they get their little spatula jammed up and it just blows up their whole machine. Buy the beater blade already, I promise it's worth it. That's what it's designed to do. It scrapes the bowl while it's mixing. So usually this pin comes out by hand, but I am gonna have to punch it out. Begone, Satan! After going 13 rounds with that pin, you can see what I'm talking about. It is cracked and it looks like an S. We'll be replacing that for sure. So with that pin out, we can go ahead and remove this shaft. That is gonna give us access to just remove this center gear. We'll go ahead and remove the worm gear tower as well because we do have to replace that gear. So we're gonna have to take our pick and we're gonna go through all of these gears and just pick out all of this old grease. Except for with this gear because it is getting replaced. So there's a few ways to do this. We can get a little punch and we can punch out that pin right there. Or instead of getting the gear, you can get the whole tower and it's just ready to be dropped into place. I went ahead and drove that pin out. It is slightly bent, but not nearly as bad as the other one. Now we can just tear down this assembly. We're going to pull out the pinion shaft gear here, and then the worm gear will just pull out of place. Now, I don't mean to put a pin in this conversation, but we do have to put this thing back together after all. Now that the lower housing is clean, we need to move to the upper housing. Oh, take a look. There's the rest of that gear right there. What a chunk. All right, let's toss it. Now that all the gears are clean, it is time to start adding new grease. Everything's coming together nicely. Just got to get some healthy globs of grease up in here. And now that we're all greased up, it's time to put on the upper housing. Now we're getting dangerously close to finishing up here. Just a few more screws. A little bit of detailing to make sure this thing gets nice and clean. Look at that baby sparkle. Now it's time to just add the last few trim pieces. And just like that, this baby's running like a brand new machine. All that's left to do now is put on the Everdyne. And I don't have time to do it in this video, but this thing is famous, so remember the name, Everdyne. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everyone. And if you need anything for your mixer, and I mean anything, parts, tools, grease, upgrades, we have it all. No, literally, I mean it. We have everything. And if you're not the DIY type, we accept mixers from all over the US for repair. And all of this can be done by checking out our website, mrmixer.store.